Good morning, everyone. My name is Marahirka, and on behalf of my group, I would like to introduce you to our presentation about the Lindahl equilibrium. The Lindahl equilibrium is related to the provision of public goods, which is usually provided by the government through taxes. The Lindahl equilibrium creates a pseudo-market which helps to determine the optimum level of supply of public goods and services. At the equilibrium, the cost of public goods is equal to the level of taxes paid by the consumers. The motive behind the Lindahl equilibrium is to find a way to allocate the costs of public goods in a manner that aligns with individuals' preferences while achieving efficiency and fairness. The initiative behind the Lindahl equilibrium is that individuals reveal their preferences for public goods and contribute their share of costs based on those preferences. And the equilibrium is reached when no individual has an incentive to misinterpret their preferences, as doing so would not lead to a better outcome for them.
Taking from Mario, slide number 4. Basically, we know that Lindahl equilibrium is a state of equilibrium in purse market for a pure public good. We can give an example of free education. It has the trend of non-excludability and non-rivalrous. Now, Lindahl equilibrium construction, it does assume a two individuals economy. In our case, consumer A and consumer B. In the y-axis, we have tax that is paid by the consumers, and in the x-axis we have the quantity of a public good, in our case which is free education. The two constructions basically show the demand for the public good. On slide number 5, we bring the two consumers together. As we can see on our far left, we have the share of tax for consumer A, and on our far right, we have the share of tax for consumer B with the arrow going down. And in the x-axis, we have the quantity of public good, which in this case is free education. And we can also see that the two demand curves are crossing. We should remember that the red one is the demand for consumer A, and the blue one is the demand for consumer B. On slide number 6, we can see that the red curve is the demand for consumer A, and the blue curve is the demand for consumer B. And the gap, which is X and Y, as we can see on the construction, is the excess tax that the government is able to collect. Okay, so if the government is receiving more tax or receiving tax in excess as compared to the public good, which is free education that is providing, then there is an incentive for the government to increase the amount or the quantity of the public good that it is providing, up to a point where the cost for providing the public good, which is free education, equals the tax that is being paid by the consumers. Okay, and the government usually provides public goods only where the cost of public good equals the tax that is being paid by the people, and this is said to be the optimal level for the supply of public goods in an economy. Thank you.
Okay, so on this slide number 7, we see that the government has increased the quantity of public goods that is being offered to the consumers or to the general public because of the excess tax that we saw in slide number 6. Now, because the government has increased the quantity of public goods to the public, we see that this time now the consumer A is paying DS tax and the consumer B is paying CW tax. And we see that there is a remaining tax here where we have labeled that too little tax, which is not being paid. And this means that now the government is receiving less taxes as compared to the very first time when consumers were paying extra tax or excess tax. Now, because here there's a remaining tax that is not being paid to the government, it means in this case the cost of the public good is not equal to the tax paid by the consumers. So because of the little tax that is being paid here, I mean, because of the too little tax that is the remaining that is not being paid here, it means now the government is receiving less taxes, and this makes the government to reduce the quantity of goods being supplied to the consumer. Finally, this takes us to this last slide, number 8, where we see that the government has reduced the quantity of the public good, and we see that now the government is offering the public good on OR, and we see that now the consumer A is paying the tax, which is RT, and the consumer B is paying the tax, which is ST. Now we can see that both consumers are paying equal taxes, and it has now reached an equilibrium. So in this case, it means the government, the tax, the cost of the public goods is equal to the tax paid by the consumers, and this is where we say now that the Lindahl equilibrium has been reached. So thank you for paying attention. If there is anything you are free to ask for further clarification. Thank you.